Well, I have pictures scheduled for my listing this week. So I had a great vacation to California. So I didn't do too much of activity over the weekend, but I'm looking forward to this week.
Cool. You were just in California for the weekend?
I left on Friday.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool.
I was. Oh, I do have something, Bill.
Okay.
So the connection I made with Auburn,
Yeah.
the lady, my friend actually is thinking about purchasing after going down there this weekend. So I actually put them together. So they're talking, and she said she'll give me a referral fee. So
That is awesome. That is awesome. All right. The Marquis has already got a referral coming from her relationship in Auburn. That is pretty cool. Keep on that.
yes.
All right, I want to just make one comment because that idea prompted something. So I was speaking to, oh, she posted it on the thing. Chantrell, I believe, said something like she had a relationship with somebody who wanted to get into real estate, and she was introducing them to Roswell and a couple of the other offices or something like that. And she's like, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but she said, uh, I hope she thinks of me if she joins or something, right? That is a very passive approach, way too passive of an approach, right? And I mentioned it in the group the other day or a couple of days ago, where I said, look, you've got to take that by its horns, right? Do a three-way text, a three-way email, call the team leader, the assistant team leader, whoever you're setting it up with, right? Okay, we got nobody on video. Somebody put on their video, please. Okay. Um, and then you need to follow up because if you expect, I mean, in a perfect world, it will work the way you want it to work. Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world, and so um, uh, uh, you've got to follow up. If I refer somebody to Candace as a leader to make a recruiting appointment, I want to call Candace afterward and say, hey, how'd you like Joe? I can call Joe afterwards. Hey, how'd you like Candace? Got any questions? What was your favorite part? Any concerns? Anything I can do to help you right now? What's your timing like? Are you thinking about making a decision this afternoon? Or are you thinking about making a decision in the next 6 months? Right? I want to know so I can continue to deliver what I need to deliver so that it is a no-brainer that they would think of me, right? You
And
got
Bill,
to
I'd
you got
like,
to create the value. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say, and I also want everyone to feel completely comfortable with sending somebody to Bill or Robin or Aubrey. I sat in on a recruiting call with Robin, and at the very end, she said, and when the person was getting ready to join, she said, and who is the person who's responsible for you being here? And the person was like, I think the name was Joanne. And she goes, would it be Joanne Curtin? She goes, oh, yeah, yeah. And so she was like, okay, well, then Joanne is the one who's responsible. So she was took a lot of care and really was, I think, grateful that somebody had taken the trouble to put somebody in front of her. So you're protected there. I just want you to know.
Yeah. Let me echo that. Um, our job as leaders is to support your wealth building, right? So if you're going to refer people to Keller Williams or specifically Keller Williams Roswell, if let's say Greta sends me a somebody she took classes with or something like that, or one of her girlfriends, right? Then when in the course of our meeting, I'm going to say, so Greta's awesome, isn't she? Right? I'm gonna make sure that they know the reason they're sitting in that seat is because of Greta. It don't have nothing to do with me. I turned from I am a recruiter on Greta's behalf at that moment. Does that make sense? And I can't say this about every leader. Certainly every leader in Roswell I've got no problem with. But I can't I would love to say that every other leader would kind of make themselves ineligible to be named sponsor. But that's exactly why you got to do the follow up, right? You got to follow up with the leadership person and with the recruiter, and for as long as necessary, right? Like Chris and I were talking about this morning, somebody he met at an open house a few days ago or a few weeks ago. Like you need to be talking to that guy like every moment you possibly can until they tell you to get lost or they buy something with you, right?
Right.
Because I will tell you something right now. They're looking at property today, and it's going to be on their cell phone. And if they don't think of you when they find something they like, you ain't going to get paid. Make sense? So we almost have to be obsessive with delivering our value. Okay. Okay. Let's hear one more piece of good news, and then I'm going to show you a video that's going to lead into our discussion on mindset. Who else wants to share some positive news?
Hey, Bill. Hey, this is Brian.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're under contract again
Nice.
with this other house. We actually had the bid that we chose yesterday ended up falling through. I guess he thought about it and decided that he didn't want to do it, so we went with the backup offer. But then probably 2 or 3 hours later, the sellers sent me a message, and this time it was the wife, and her sister's looking to sell her place in Sandy Springs. So I'm actually taking all of them out for dinner tonight because they're coming back into town from Florida. But there's another referral from this same couple. So this is probably over $2 million worth of transactions that I'll have from them.
It's amazing. That's a great idea to take them out to dinner. Make sure that you make them feel like freaking rock stars. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. The sister's coming too. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Sandy Springs listings ain't cheap. What kind of home is it?
it's like a 2.5 townhouse. It's probably only going to be like 250.
I'll buy it right now. 250. I'll buy it.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
No, I'm telling you, 250. It's much more than 250, almost certainly.
When I looked at all the comps, that's about what they were in the last year.
Wow. Okay.
So
I think I know
in that
exactly what
range.
neighborhood it is then.
Yeah.
250 is still too low. Look again.
Yeah.
I think it's worth more than 250. I'll buy it right now.
Yeah, I will. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to keep an eye on it. But
Cool.
Yep.
Good job, sir. Keep them coming. You're
Thank you.
parlaying every listing into another listing. That's exactly the way this business should be.
yeah, I'm actually going to go meet a buyer right now, and she's going to be a little bit later on. But we're going to go look at a house and just kind of spend some time together before the team meeting. But
Love
get
it.
it.
Love it. All right. Well, I am trying to share my screen really fast. Who wants to tell me some more good news? Anyone else? All right. Hang on.
Well, I found out two properties, one for a buyer, one for a seller, both appraised yesterday. So
Nice.
all.
Nice. I know sometimes we've never studied the appraisals quite as much as we are these days, huh?
Well, I've always studied them a lot, but yes, definitely now.
All right. This is a bit of a longer video, guys, but I want you to really focus on this one, okay?
Study people who are at the pinnacle of anything. You recognize that to get there, motivation was maybe 1% of the formula, maybe 1%. I'll prove it to you. If you want to become a world-class bodybuilder, say an IFBB pro, what that takes is you have to train twice a day, 6 days a week. You have to have 8 meals a day. Your calorie intake is regimented. Your meals are pre-planned and pre-cooked. You don't eat according to taste, you eat according to function. So my trainer, for instance, will eat and go, what are you eating? And he's having he'll have chicken that was boiled without salt. And he'll have like half a kilo of it. What are you doing? He says, I'm taking in protein. He doesn't say I'm eating. He says, I'm taking in protein. For him, it's functional. It's not taste-based. Then you will probably have to train for a minimum, and this is if you are a genetic phenom, you'd have to train for a minimum of 10 years before you could get on a stage and compete at an average level with an average global bodybuilder. Average. Okay. So why am I telling you this? All of us here at the beginning of a new year write these things called New Year's resolutions. And then New Year's resolutions, number one, make more money. Yeah. Number two, change my boyfriend. Number three, get into shape. Yeah. Number three, get into shape is somewhere in the top three. So what do? You go to the gym, you get a gym membership. Yeah. You go to the local Nike store and you buy like all of your gym gear. You are motivated. You are inspired. You are going to the damn gym. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to all of the fitness channels. You go to your Instagram, you follow all of the fitness models. You are motivated. You are going to the damn gym. You're going to get in shape. That's what you're going to do. The people you're following on YouTube have been working on for a minimum of 5 years to look like that. So you have the incorrect understanding that after a month of working out, you're going to look like it. So what happens in the first month? You're excited. You go to the gym every single month, and you take the pains and your body is sore, but I'm excited. I'm going to the gym. Then life happens. Company doesn't make money. You don't make your targets. You fall a bit ill. Something happens. And all of a sudden you stop going to gym for a day. A day becomes two becomes a week. Now all of a sudden you had a gym membership for 3 months and you haven't been in that time. What did you miss? You thought motivation was the formula. Winners don't need motivation. Winners need discipline. Discipline's about getting it done because it needs to get done, not because I feel like it, not because I'm motivated for it. You think Nelson Mandela was motivated to spend 27 years in prison? You think Martin Luther King was motivated to march across the states and proclaim freedom? You think, if you think the people that change the world, they're not doing it because they're motivated. They're doing it because they made a commitment to do it and they disciplined to see it through. Discipline is far more important than motivation, which is why you got to be careful of the decisions you make. Because once you make the decision, you have to see that decision through. Like my mentor says, first we make the decisions, then the decisions make us. So you got to be very careful of the decisions you make. Be very careful of the commitments you make. Motivation, I'm telling you now, is completely overrated. It's important, don't get me wrong. We meet according to motivation, we feel good, rah-rah, but that'll fade. You have a stronger will and a deeper commitment to see things through.
One of my key phrases for the whole day: disciplines work miracles. Disciplines work miracles. And here's the first piece that works miracles. Number one, do what you can. Do not let neglect grab you by the throat. Don't let neglect stall you on your path toward prosperity and health, being able to become powerful, influential, rich beyond wildest imagination. Don't neglect what you can do. If you can read, read. If you can change, change. If you can grow, grow. If you can take one step, take one step. Do not neglect to do whatever you can do at the moment. Of course, you can't run a multi-billion-dollar business today. Mark couldn't either 10 years ago. Mark couldn't either 5 years ago. But I'm telling you, today he can do it because step by step, year by year, he took on what he could do. He didn't neglect it. He did the meetings he could do. He made the calls he could make. He read the books he could read. He took the classes he could take. And step by step, he got himself ready. I'm telling you, do not neglect to do whatever you can do because it'll work miracles. Of personal development first, productivity second. Now, do what you can. Here's number two, do the best you can. If it's a foggy night and you can only see 100 feet, how can you see another 100 feet? Answer, walk the first 100 feet. Walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. And walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. So what you picked up here, just do it as far as you can see it. And I promise you, if you'll execute as far as you can see it, you'll be able to see more. Do that, then you can see more. And finally, get in tune of doing the best you can. And you'll have the activity that will develop the disciplines that will set this sail so that you can say it doesn't matter how the wind blows. I'm prepared. For some people, they see discipline as sort of an ugly word. They'll talk to me about discipline. But what you must understand is discipline is a most incredible creative. Discipline builds a career. Discipline develops good health. Discipline forms the most incredible marriage. Discipline puts together a friendship that won't quit forever. Discipline develops skills that can be magnified, and touch the world. And discipline opens up music. You can't have incredible music without discipline. In fact, we call them the disciplines. We call architecture and music, and we call playing an instrument. We call sculpturing. We call painting. We call writing, composing. We call those the disciplines. And the disciplines gives us the indication that, yes, it doesn't come except by discipline. But it also means that the discipline is the open door to the creative process to turn nothing into something and to turn imagination into reality. So here's what you must learn to do: appreciate the discipline and welcome the discipline. Here's a good question to ask. What other discipline could I begin that would open up a whole new expression in my life of turning imagination into reality? Without discipline, there is no enterprise. Without discipline, there is no magnificent structure. Without discipline, there is no music. Without discipline, there is no health. Without discipline, there is no advantage. There is no future. So discipline is all when it comes to imagination, having something real, believing in it, and turning it into reality. The key to development is to be all that you can possibly be. I don't know what your talents are. I don't know what your skills are, but here's what I probably am right on, that you're behind on an accelerated effort toward your full development. I would suggest that. Now, for some of you, I know that's probably really not true. But even as I look at my own life, because, I'm tempted to procrastinate just like everybody else. I should have written 30 books by now. I've only written 4 or 5. I should have done a lot of things, but I haven't. I got distracted, and all of us, have these challenges. But what could I become? What could I become? I had one of my dearest friends. I've lost him. He died at age 53. One day, and he drank a little too much. David drank a little too much, but he did all kinds of things. He was a builder, and he was a dreamer, and he did a lot of things. But his drinking sort of kept him in a fog for like years and years. About 6 years ago, he was sitting at the yacht club, and he was in a fog. And suddenly it occurred to him, I wonder what I could have accomplished all these years if I hadn't have been in this sort of foggy state. And he said that did it. And the last 6 years before he died, he was free. And he accomplished some incredible things that last 6 years. Being all that you can be and not let habits drag you down. Not let things, sidetrack you from the full development of what you have the capable of being. What all could your heart encompass if you really had the chance and you really had the disciplines and really got to it? What could you really do? What could you earn? How healthy could you really be? How many books could you write? How many poems could you write? So here's what I would ask of you. If you feel that you're a little bit stalled wherever you are in your progress, I'm asking you to correct that. I'm asking you to see if you can possibly be on a more accelerated track toward your possibilities and your full development. Here's what life is all about: to become all that we can possibly be. The full development of all of your potential. That's number one. Number two is the wise use of all of your resources. That's what life is all about. Discipline. If there is a magic word that stands out above all the rest, this is the one: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. the bridge between inspiration and value achievement, the bridge between necessity and productivity. Remember, all good things are upstream. The passing of time takes us adrifting, and drifting only brings us the negative, the disastrous, the disappointment, and the failure. Failure is not a cataclysmic event. It is not generally the result of one major incident, but rather a long list of accumulated little failings. Failing in life is failing to think today, failing to act today, failing to care, to strive, to climb, to learn, to keep trying day by day. If your goal requires that you write 10 letters today and you write only 3, you are down 7 letters. If you want to make 5 calls and you only make 1, you are down 4 on calls. If your plan calls for saving $10 today and you saved none, you're down $10 today. Now, the danger is looking at an undisciplined day and concluding that no great harm has been done. It doesn't seem like such a bad day, but add up these days to make a year, and then add up those years to make a lifetime. And perhaps you can now see how repeating today's small failures can easily turn your life into a major disaster. Success, on the other hand, is just the same process in reverse. If you plan to make 10 calls and you end the day making 15, now you're up 5 calls. If you then get up a few on letters, move up the savings numbers, you can see what a massive difference it could make in a year and what wealth and accomplishment awaits for a lifetime. Discipline is like a set of magic keys that unlocks all the doors of wealth, happiness, sophistication, culture, high self-esteem, pride, joy, accomplishment, satisfaction, and success. The first key to discipline is awareness of the need for and the value of discipline, and especially the discipline to make the changes. What will it take? What must I do? And what must I become to get all I want from my life? The second key is the willingness. More than that, the eagerness to maintain your new discipline deliberately, wisely, consistently. And the third key to discipline is the commitment to master the circumstances of your daily life, to see and harness the opportunities to make something of the sun and the rain, the good as well as what comes in the guise of misfortune. Discipline does many things, but most important of all is what it does for you. It makes you feel better about yourself. Even the smallest discipline can have an incredible effect on your attitude. And the good feeling you get, that surging feeling of self-worth that comes from starting a new discipline, is almost as good as the feeling that comes from the accomplishment of the discipline. Second, a new discipline immediately alters your life direction. You don't change destinations immediately. That is yet to come. But you can change direction immediately. And direction is very important. Third, discipline cooperates with nature. Everything strives. It is a common life function. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it can. Everything strives to become all it can possibly be. And that striving to become is what discipline is all about. Disciplining ourselves to fulfill our natural potential to become all that we can be. And finally, discipline attracts opportunity. Opportunity is always looking for ambition and skill in action. Discipline taps the unlimited power of commitment. The human will in action, driven by inspiration, enticed by desire, tempered by reason, guided by intelligence, can bring you to that high and lofty place called the good life. So start the new process. You can begin a new habit no matter how small it is. Small isn't important. Whether or not you start and whether or not you continue are all that is important. So to have a prosperous life, start a prosperity plan. To become wealthy, start a wealth plan. Remember, you don't have to be wealthy to have a wealth plan. A person with no means can have a rich plan. If you are ill, start a health plan. If you don't have energy, start an energy plan. If you don't feel good, start a feel-good plan. If you're not smart, start a smart plan. If you can't, start a can plan. If you haven't, start a have plan. Anyone can. Even a bad person can start hearing good messages and reading good books. Recognize that the start of the better life, the happy life, the wealthy life is today. This is exciting. Both the process and the result can begin today. Start the new journey today. If you think of a new idea, today is the day to begin the discipline of putting that idea into action. Set this day up as a long, busy, exciting start for your new life. Get your first book for your new library today. Begin your new practice of setting goals today. Start clearing out a drawer of your new orderly desk today. Start eating an apple a day on your new health plan today. Put some money in your new investment for fortune account today. Start reading with intensity for your new wealth of mind plan today. Write a postponed letter today. Make a delayed telephone call today. Pick up your camera and take a picture of something to start your new treasury of photographs today. Get some momentum going on your new commitment to the better life. See how many activities you can pile on in this first day. Go all out. Break away from the negative downward pull of gravity. Start the thrusters going. Prove to yourself that waiting is over, hoping is past, and that faith and action have now taken charge. It's a new day, a new beginning for your new life. With discipline, you can't believe the list of positive moves you can make in the first day of your new beginning.
Wow. Yeah. Well, guys, what do you think?
Sounded a lot like what Atomic Habits say to do. You know, just start one small habit and how it becomes much bigger.
Okay. I like that. I like that. I love that part about I didn't do it because I felt like doing it. I did it because it needed to get done. Right. My plan requires appropriate action. I got the plan. I know the plan will take me to where I want to be. So I just do the plan. If it's raining, I do the plan. If it's snowing, I do the plan. If it's sunny, I do the plan. Right.
I love the part where he said, and how are you going to see the next 100 miles or 100 steps if you don't walk the 100 steps? I think that's so relevant to what new agents are going through right now, because it's really hard to see past everything that needs to be learned, but just taking those steps will get you to the next 100 steps, and it will get easier.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, that really encouraged me, honestly. I thought that was great.
So, Michael, you've been doing this a little while. Why don't you give me a little bit more, if you don't mind? Tell me a little bit more about how that message has resonated with you or did resonate with you.
Well, I always seem to find, reasons to not do stuff. And I really don't have very good discipline when it comes to, all the things that I know I need to be doing in this whole real estate business. Dual career. I've got so much other stuff that I can, waste my time doing with, my other business.
Mhm.
And I try time blocking, but I let things get in the way. I let things stop me from doing just the little things. Yesterday, I got together at the office with Heather and with Greta, and that was great. That was really motivational for me. And now I'm starting to work on getting my mojo, literally, figuratively, set up, and just starting little things like that. But that whole taking those first 100 steps because you can't see beyond that. Really definitely resonated with me. Because I worry there's so much, listening to my phone dings all day long with.
Stop that. Get that damn notification thing over. Stop that. Do that right now.
Well, one of the advantages of it is that there's so much to learn, though. Everybody's going through some little thing, one little circumstance or another, and I always learn from it. Some people have questions about contracts. Some people have questions about, other aspects. And to me, it's fascinating, but I think I will turn that stuff off. Because
well, here's the deal is if you get learning, if that's your method of learning for the day, which I think is a great thing, then pay attention during the time block where you've told yourself that this is the time block that I learn in,
Yeah.
right? Because what's happening is it's interrupting your focus. So yeah, you're learning, but the fact of the matter is you're learning to a substandard, you're learning below what you're capable of learning. And all the other stuff that's being distracted is being performed below the level at which you know is possible. So
Yeah.
don't learn until your time block tells you to learn.
Now, that's what I was going to say, is that I think what Bill meant by the notifications is you don't need to know every single time someone makes a post into a group or whatever.
I don't know. I'm pretty distractible.
Instead of being
I'm gonna have to
reactive,
turn these things off right now.
I think
yeah,
you should.
instead of being reactive,
Yeah.
you know, be proactive and set aside time that this is when I'm going to read up on those things.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was there's
makes
a
sense.
coach that does a lot. Thank you for softening my message, Pam. There's a coach, his name is Chad Himes. He's out of Washington. And what he says is, he says, I would plan spontaneity. Okay. So like, for example, I'll be spontaneous at Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And Tuesday at 6 o'clock rolls around, and that's when I get to do whatever I feel like doing. But if I do what I feel like doing throughout the day, I don't get my stuff done.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm always behind. Greta?
So I'm a word nerd, and I looked up the etymology of the word, and dis means apart. And then the second part of the word comes from to take or to take hold of, and
Okay.
usually intellectual. And so the whole word stems around that you are taking something apart from yourself, what you want to be doing. That's what discipline means. So you're leaning away from like something's compliant, it's going toward. Discipline is you're having to go away from that center self that says lay on the couch and, you know, watch TV.
I love that. I love that. We studied the, what is it called again? Etymology?
Yeah.
We studied the etymology of the word decide. And the word decide, I mean, like, think about it. Genocide, suicide, right? It's to cut off, right? It's for to kill, right? So I'm killing any other options. I'm deciding to do this, right? And therefore, I'm not able to do that. So because I am having dinner with my family, I don't pay attention to the notifications. Because I'm, you know, focused on a work project outside of real estate, I don't focus on real estate. I'm present everywhere I am, right? Now, I mean, clear, I'm not perfect. I'm not even close to perfect, but I'm working on it every day. And my wife and my son and my daughter are my coaches, right? Hey, daddy's on Facebook, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I love also in the one thing, they talk about discipline, because discipline can be kind of scary, right? It's like, how long can I muster that up? Well, you only need enough discipline to start the new habit, and only enough discipline to keep the habit going. And once the habit is established, typically around 66 days, you don't need the discipline anymore because you have the habit. You can turn your discipline to something else.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Okay, let's do one more message on this, and then I want to make a book recommendation, and then we'll call it a morning. Who else had some thoughts? Anyone? Okay, so there's a book. We ended up kind of moving mindset to discipline, but you got to have a mindset of a business person, right? We're running businesses here. So we need to wake up every day thinking, hey, I am unemployed until I find somebody in the community that wants me to help them with their buyer needs or seller needs to keep me busy. And if I don't have a listing, if I don't have an active buyer that has committed to working with me, or an active seller that happens to still be on the market, I need to go find somebody to do some work for, right? I am seriously unemployed, right? So if you were the owner of an organization and no one was coming into your business that day, what would you do? You'd go out and find some business, right? So how can you think like a business owner, and what disciplines do you need to adopt so that you're constantly, growing and being more and more productive. And I'll tell you, the more you focus on the right activities, the closer you're going to be to enjoying life stress-free when you're not in real estate or when you are not working, so to speak. Does that make sense? Okay, there's a book named called Mindset. It's by Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K. I think I've posted a link for the audiobook. It's free. You can get it on YouTube. I'll post it a little bit later today. This is a phenomenal book, and it talks a little bit about the two primary mindsets. One is a fixed mindset, and one is a growth mindset. And the primary difference is how you handle failure. Okay, a fixed mindset will have a failure. Oftentimes, let me go back up for a second. Oftentimes, the fixed mindset person, and oftentimes we see very, very accomplished, smart people with fixed mindsets. And they've done really well at a lot of different things that they've done, school and these kind of things. And therefore, they're afraid to try new things because their reputation and their self-image is baked into the fact that when they do stuff, they're good at it, right? So for example, let's say they would be apprehensive, if they've never, let's say, played golf. If you've played golf, you got to kind of hold your hands a little, what feels a little unique, right? A little unusual. And you might, not hit a beautiful golf shot. So somebody with a fixed mindset might say to themselves, well, gosh, I don't want to try that because then they'll think I'm no good because I suck at it because I haven't practiced, right? I don't have a system. I'm not disciplined. And therefore, I'm going to save my reputation and not try it. That's like somebody that comes in and says, well, I don't do cold calls. What are you talking about? You don't do cold calls. How many have you done? Well, none. Well, how do you know you don't do them? You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you got to do cold calls, but at least try it. I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine, but you better figure out a way to get appointments using a different method, right? So a growth mindset, it basically is willing to do just about anything because they're used to failing, because oftentimes they weren't at the top of the class and these kind of things. And so like, oh, I'll try golf. Okay, so I sucked at that. Hey, what do I do with my hands here? Right? They're willing to have feedback. They're willing to get coached so that they can improve day by day. Does that make sense? You guys ever heard the line that the A students work for the B students in the company that the C students own? You ever heard that? And I'm not trying to offend anybody here, but a lot of times the A students, they think they know everything and they're unwilling to get advice. The C students are like, I wasn't that great at it. So is there anyone here that's done this before? Maybe they can help me, right? And so they naturally move into a growth mindset. A fixed mindset person with great grades says, oh, well, I aced the chemistry test, so I don't need anyone to help me in chemistry. You see what I'm saying? Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, any more ahas before we're done for the day?
I just have one little tip.
Yeah, please.
This is for mindset around self-limiting beliefs. If you'll get a little bracelet, or guys, you can get a rubber band, or a scrunchie, anything that you can just take off your wrist. And anytime you catch yourself having a self-limiting belief, like one of mine is, ooh, I need to lose weight before I post Facebook videos. Oh no, I'm going to take it off and I'm going to reframe it as in, I've got a lot of value to offer, so I'm going to get my Facebook video done. So you say the limiting belief, reframe it in a positive way, and take it off and put it on the other wrist. And every time you catch yourself doing it, you do that, and it'll start training your mind. Because what we have to really do is master our mindset in order to be in business for ourselves. And this is a real good trick for it.
I think that's a great idea. We used to do that in Bold with the purple bracelet, and it was you got to stay positive, right? What do you say? You got to, I forget the exact line he used. You do it when it's sunny, and you do it when it's raining. You see what I'm saying? You got to take advantage of the good and take advantage of the bad. All right, you guys. I'll wait till we have a little bit larger audience, but We had a great month in March. There's still a number of people who please put up your numbers. But we had over $4.5 million worth of sales volume from our group in the month of March. We had 16 transactions. We made over $131,000. Real proud of you guys. So keep up the good work, and I will see you. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.